Hi everybody. I'd like to talk to you today again about this word like, and specifically to talk about another mistake that people make when they are using this word. Well, let's start by looking at a sentence. Take a look at this. It's not like I had another choice. Doesn't that sound like something your friend might say as an excuse if he did something wrong or if she did something wrong? She'd go, well, it's not like I had another choice, right? We hear this kind of sentence every day, and that's why this type of question can be difficult. But we have to know this grammar because they are putting questions like this on the SAT, counting on students to get it wrong because, of course, in everyday spoken English, we hear this type of sentence every day. So let's take a look at this again and figure out what's not quite right about it. It's not like I had another choice. I can just hear somebody saying that. This is not a correct use of the word like because you'll notice that after the word like you have a phrase or a sentence. If I take the first half of that off, after the word like, it simply says, I had another choice. Now remember, we use like when we compare things, particularly when we are talking about things that are either similar or alike. Okay? Now, in this sentence, I'm not really talking about things that are similar or alike. I am talking about a situation where I had no other choice. And so this is not the type of sentence where I should be using the word like. You'll see this again on the SAT. You will see this. Many times they will write a sentence such as this one as a multiple choice answer because it looks as if it's correct, but it's really not correct. Here is the type of sentence that you would want to choose as a correct sentence. It's not as though I had another choice. When you are talking about a situation, or specifically in terms of the grammar, if you look at the words that come after as though, I had another choice, that could stand alone as a full sentence. Sometimes it'll be a clause or a phrase, but usually it will include a verb, and there's the verb had there. It's not as though I had another choice. That is the correct way to write it. So for this type of situation, you want to use either as though or as if. Now, you can use either one of those. If you're a very strict grammar person, you will use as though for situations that could occur in real life. You will use as if for situations that are not likely to occur in real life. Let me give you another example to illustrate this point. Take a look at this sentence. Here's the wrong sentence. He looked at me like I was crazy. He looked at me like I was crazy. That's something that people say all the time. He looked at me like something or other. He looked at me like I was crazy. So again, these are sentences that we commonly hear in spoken English, and that's what makes it difficult when we're taking the SAT to not choose that as the correct answer, because it looks correct because it's what we hear every day when people are speaking. But let me give you a better choice. He looked at me as if I was crazy. Now, here again, you see this word as if, or the words as if, and the words that follow as if, I was crazy. That could stand alone as a sentence. So you're going to put either something that could stand alone as a sentence or a clause after this, and it will include a verb. So you see the verb was there. He looked at me as if I was crazy. Now, after finding out that these commonly used sentences are in fact examples of incorrect grammar, you might be asking yourself, well, how do I use like correctly, or can I use like in these sorts of situations? Let me give you a few sentences to illustrate what the grammar is, the actual grammar points. Here are two sentences. He acted as though he didn't know anything about it. Notice in the first sentence, he acted as though he didn't know anything about it. The words that follow, as though, he didn't know anything about it. That's a full sentence. Well, if it were by itself, it could stand alone as a full sentence. He didn't know anything about it. So there you have a sentence or a clause, and it does contain a verb, didn't know. Now look at the second sentence. He acted like an unconcerned person. Now in this sentence, you could say that we are comparing two things. We're comparing he, that is the person in the subject, and an unconcerned person. So we're saying they are similar or the same or alike. He acted like an unconcerned person. In terms of grammar, notice that the words following like, an unconcerned person, you have a noun. You can have a few adjectives in there describing the noun, but really it has to, like has to come before a noun in this type of use. He acted like an unconcerned person. Okay, let's look at another example of how you can use these correctly. Here we go. He acted like a fool. Notice again, the word following like, the words following like, I have a noun there, a fool. He acted like a fool, so I'm comparing he in the subject with a fool and saying that they are similar or alike. He acted like a fool. In terms of the grammar, we have a noun following the word like. He acted like a fool. Look at the second sentence. He acted as if he was a clown performing in a circus. Now, a few minutes ago we mentioned that if we use as if, oftentimes we use as if for situations which are not likely to happen. In this sentence, I clearly do not believe that this person will ever really be a clown performing in a circus. But he acted as if he was a clown performing in a circus. Notice the words following as if. He was a clown performing in a circus. That could stand alone by itself as a sentence. It has a verb in it, was. And so that's going to be a correct sentence. I hope that helps. Good luck, everybody, and I'll see you next time.